Okay, let me show you slides first. Alright. No longer presenting. Apalah kena dengan internet saya ni? Ada tak?
Ada.
Can you see my class?
Ada.
Ada? Okay. Apalah laptop saya ni? Dia kata saya tak present apa-apa. Just in case kalau tiba-tiba I kena kick out from class, please let me know as soon as possible. So nak bagi tahu tu, dia tak boleh lah bagi tahu kat dalam Google Meet class ni. I tak dengar kalau kena kick out. You kena call dekat handphone . Okay, this is the outline of the topic, quite long. Alright, for full-time student, normally it will take about 2 weeks to cover until tutorial discussions. Okay, so basically we look at the theory part, which include theory and practice of standard costing, determinations of standard, and then for calculation, a little bit about basic variance, because before we extend your knowledge, of course you need to refresh your basic knowledge. Kalau basic tak ingat, nak extend apanya kan, lagilah tak tahu. Okay, contohnya kalau masak air panas pun tak tahu macam mana nak banca kopi. Kan, kena tahu cara masak air panas dulu. Dia lebih kurang macam itulah. Alright, and then for your advanced level, we cover mix and yield variance. And then for bachelor level, kita ada advanced juga, planning and operational variance. And then of course, we need to look at various investigation model, all the limitation as well as behavioral consequences when you set standard, and also ethical aspects. Okay, control systems, okay, is important in organizations. So control systems normally consist of 3 basic elements. The first one, you must set standard. You must have your predetermined value. Right? After you have your predetermined value, you measure your actual performance. Finally, you make comparison between your predetermined value with actual performance so that you can determine variance. So when you determine variance, okay, you will get either positive or negative results. So for positive result, maybe you can give rewards to your employees. If there is negative result, that means you must take corrective actions. So this is components of control system. Remember, under previous topic, you already learned control system. You have 2 types, right? Whereby you have a feedback control system and feed-forward control system. So under feedback means after you complete your performance, then you measure activity levels and actual cost, then you give feedback. Okay, that means you make comparison after your periods complete. Then you evaluate performance. That one under feedback control system. That means you give feedback after periods complete. But for feed-forward control system, from time to time, you forecast signal. If there is a negative signal about negative results, then immediately you take corrective actions so that at the end of the period, all results is positive. Okay, that one is actually feed-forward control system. Itu je beza dia. Kalau feed forward tu sentiasa fokus. Agak-agak berlaku tak negative result? Agak-agak berlaku tak? Kalau ada potential risk untuk berlakunya negative result, then you take corrective actions immediately. Okay, so your standard cost and budgetary control both are interrelated. Why? Because before you forecast your predetermined value, before you set your standard, of course you need to know your budgeted production. For example, if you plan to produce, as I explained under topic 2 previously, If you plan to produce 1,000 unit, let's say in terms of material, you buy material for 10,000 units. But if you plan to produce 10,000 units, then you must purchase material for 10,000 units. Normally, when you purchase more, you will get discount. Okay, you will get discount. So if you receive discount for bulk purchase, when you purchase in large quantity, you can request discount from your supplier. So when you receive discount, that means cost per unit reduce. Cost of material maybe for 1 kilo reduce. Let's say if you buy material for 10,000 units, maybe cost of material RM1 uh, per kilo, for example. However, if you buy more, maybe you can request discount, so cost reduced to 80 cents per kilo, for example. Okay, so cost per kilo reduced, therefore, your variance, when you calculate variance, you will get different results. Okay, therefore, your standard cost and also budgetary control, both are interrelated. Okay, information regarding standard cost is used in calculations of budgeted production cost and sales. In determining standard cost per unit, it is necessary to ascertain budgeted level of output. What are the purpose of standard cost? The first one, because you want to predict your future cost that can be used for decision making. Okay, without standard cost, you cannot calculate budgeted costs. Provide challenge. Number two, it provide challenging targets which individual are motivated to achieve. Okay, for example, this one just now, whether you want to produce 1,000 or 10,000, can we achieve 10,000 production? So that one is your challenging target. Assist in setting. Number three, assist in setting budgets and evaluate managerial performance. Okay, if you can achieve targets, that means you will get rewards, for example, because you shows positive performance. Okay, number three, it act as control device. Okay, by highlight those activities which do not conform to plan. So here you need to take corrective actions. Okay, take corrective actions. And also alert manager to those situations that may be out of control and need corrective actions. Okay, that means this one if you use feed forward control system. Okay, if you use feed forward control system. The first one just now, if you use feedback control system. Okay, this one you can read on your own. This is introductions. Determinations of standard, we have several methods. Either you use historical data, that means you refer to your past data. Okay, and then number two, or maybe you use engineering method. Okay, so for second method, you must work closely with engineer. Okay, because you want to identify durations to produce durations required in order to produce one unit product. You must work closely with engineer, and sometimes you use combinations of both method. Okay, combinations of both method. In terms of cost, maybe you refer to historical data. Okay, in terms of efficiency, maybe you can use engineering method. Okay, best types of cost standard. Okay, types of cost standard, we have basic cost standard, ideal standard, and also currently attainable standard. Basic standard means we refer to past data. Okay, we assume that standard cost is constant, and then it is unchanged over period of time. For ideal standard, this refers to minimum costs, okay, that are possible under the most efficient operating conditions. Currently attainable standards, costs that should be incurred under efficient operating conditions. Okay, it is quite difficult, but it is not impossible to be achieved. Okay, now we look at basic standard. We refresh your knowledge about basic standards. Wait now. Okay, we focus on material, labor, overhead, and sales. How to calculate material cost variance? You compare material price variance with material usage variance. Okay, and then how to calculate material price variance? Standard price compare with actual price, and then you multiply by actual quantity of material purchased. This is price variance. So for price variance quantity, you refer to quantity of material purchased, because sometimes you purchase material for 1000 kilograms, but maybe you use only 80%. Okay. So if you look at this signage, this is actually comparison. So when we mention comparison, means it doesn't matter whether you want to put usage in front and material price at the back. Okay, same goes to your material price variance, whether you want to write actual price first followed by standard price. Okay, because it is comparison. But please careful when you interpret the results, good or bad. Okay, it doesn't matter whether standard in front or at the back, but then when you interpret the result, please look at standard first. You standard from standard to actual. In terms of cost, if cost increase means bad results. In terms of revenue, from standard to actual, if revenue increase, it shows positive or good results. Positive
Madam,
means favorable. Yes?
simbol comparison tu kalau kita change to minus, salah ke tak?
Change to what?
Change to minus, kita buat dash.
Boleh, boleh.
Boleh, okay.
Letak minus pun boleh, tapi kena fahamlah dia adalah comparison. Okay, when we compare means we look at the difference. So nak tengok difference, you have to deduct the figure.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Okay, then material usage variance, standard quantity. Okay, standard quantity of actual production. Standard quantity means quantity required to produce one unit product. Of actual production means you must multiply by actual unit produced. Okay, then you compare with actual quantity. Here actual quantity refer to actual quantity of material use, because this is material usage variance. Okay, that means 80% just now lah, 80% only. You put in bracket, then you multiply by standard price of material. Standard price of course refer to price of, let's say your material in kilogram, that means price per kilo. If your material in terms of bottle means price per bottle, or maybe price per liter. Okay, it depends on situations. And then we have mix and yield variance. Okay, for mix variant, AQAM, AQ stand for actual quantity, AM means actual mix. Okay, and then AQ again, actual quantity again, same figure, but now standard mix. SM refers to standard mix. You multiply by standard price. Material yield variance, actual yield compare with standard yield. Then you multiply by standard cost. So standard cost here is actually cost of one unit, cost of material for one unit product. Okay, to produce one unit product, maybe it requires material A, material B. Material A maybe half kilogram, material B also half kilogram. Total cost for both maybe 10 ringgit. Okay, total cost for both. Alright, then you compare material price and material usage to calculate your material cost variance. Okay, next regarding labor cost variance. How to determine labor cost variance? Direct labor rate compare with direct labor efficiency variance. Okay, direct labor rate, standard rate compare with actual rate. Rate we refer to rate per hour, rate per hour. And then we put in bracket and multiply by actual hours. Okay, actual hours. For the efficiency variance, labor efficiency variance, standard hour of actual production compared with actual hours work, multiply by standard rate. Standard hour means to produce one unique product, okay, maybe it requires 30 minutes. That means this one equivalent to half an hour. And then of actual production, again, of actual production, you multiply by actual production, actual quantity of finished product produced. Okay, and then you compare with actual hours work and multiply by standard rate, rate per hour. Okay, standard rate again we refer to rate per hour. Idle time variance. Okay, idle time tu apa? Waktu you tak bekerja tapi dapat gaji. For example, during lunch hour. Okay, ada tak you bekerja waktu lunch, employer tolak gaji? You apa? Ambil masa 1 jam dia tolak RM10. Tak ada kan? Tak ada.
Kalau ada berhenti.
Kalau ada berhenti kan, itulah dia. Jadi sebenarnya waktu tu waktu you rehat, you tak bekerja tapi you dibayar gaji. So how to calculate idle time variance? Actual hours work compare with actual hours paid. And then multiply by standard rate per hour. So you will get negative results for idle time. It is actually unproductive time. Okay, so to illustrate your basic variance, we will use first illustration. Given standard cost per unit material 50 kilograms at RM2.50 per kilo, labor 14 hours, RM4.75 per hour, and then actual results, production 150, material purchase 7,000 kilograms, okay, at cost 18,200. So you can calculate cost per kilo. Bahagi je lah 18,200 divided by 7,000. So dapatlah cost per kilo. And then you have opening closing inventories in kilograms. Jadi purchases plus plus or minus opening inventories, then you plus opening inventories, you minus closing inventories, then you will get you punya material usage nya. Kejap, terbalik ke plus ke minus, I pun lupa lah.
Plus opening, madam.
Plus ke minus
Plus opening minus closing.
Plus opening kan, kita plus opening, kita minus closing. Sebab closing kita nak simpan. Okay, jadi kita tengok usage, kita kena simpan dia lah, kita kena tolak dia. Okay, opening ni, this is purchase. So your purchases, you plus opening inventories. Okay, you minus closing inventories. Then you will get amounts of usage. Remember, when you determine usage variance, okay, you must use this value. But when you determine material price variance, quantity you refer to 7,000. Okay, and then you have cost, labor cost. Alright, so calculate material price, material usage. Later you compare number 1 and number 2, you will get answer for number 3. And then number 4, rate variance, efficiency variance, you calculate. You compare your answer for number 4, number 5, then you will get answer for number 6. Okay, this one you can do on your own. This is simple illustration only. I dah bagi jawapan dia dah. Buat sendirilah sebab nak buat dalam kelas memang tak sempat lah. Okay, nanti jawapan ni semua you dah ada sebenarnya. Okay, then variable overhead variance. Okay, variable overhead variance. You ada VOAR. VOAR means variable overhead absorption rate. Remember, overhead we absorb based on predetermined value. Predetermined overhead cost divided by predetermined basis. So basis can be, you have 6 basis to absorb your overhead. You can use either unit produce, labor hours, machine hours and many more. Okay, tapi biasa kita pakai labor hours lah. Labor hours yang kerap kita guna. So VOAR multiply by standard hour compare with actual overhead incurred. And then expenditure variance, standard rate compare with actual rate multiply by actual hours. Tapi biasa pakai merah ni lah. Because dalam exam biasa dia bagi you overhead incurred. So bila dah ada overhead incurred, you boleh terus buat yang ini. VOAR multiply by actual hours. Okay, VOAR multiply by actual hours. Overhead efficiency, when we talk about efficiency, that means we look at hours. If you absorb overhead based on labor hours. So standard hour of actual production compare with actual hours work multiply by VOAR. Yang ni samalah macam labor efficiency tadi. Labor efficiency dalam ni sama. Cuma labor efficiency yang luar ni you darab dengan standard rate. Tapi kalau overhead, you darab dengan variable overhead absorption rate. Okay, then fixed overhead. Okay, FOAR, fixed overhead absorption rate, multiply by standard hour, then compare with fixed overhead incurred. For fixed overhead expenditure, you ada budgeted overhead, actual overhead, then you terus compare. Okay, budget berapa, actual berapa, terus dapat variance. Ataupun kalau tak ada budgeted overhead, you can calculate. How to calculate? Just multiply FOAR by budgeted hours. That means they must give you information on how to calculate fixed overhead absorption rate. Budgeted fixed overhead cost divided by budgeted basis. Then you will get FOAR. And then you multiply by budgeted hours. Okay, volume variance. Budgeted hours compare with actual standard hours and then multiply by FOAR, or you can also calculate volume variance by comparing capacity and efficiency variance. Fixed overhead capacity compare with fixed overhead efficiency variance, then you will get volume variance. How to calculate fixed overhead capacity? Fixed overhead capacity, budgeted hours compare with actual hours, then multiply by fixed overhead absorption rate, efficiency variance, standard hour of actual production compare with actual hours, sama je macam labor efficiency. But now you multiply by FOAR, sama macam labor efficiency dengan variable overhead efficiency tadi. Tapi kalau variable overhead yang ni you ambil VOAR. Kalau labor, you ambil labor rate, standard rate of labor. Okay. So, illustration 2 describe overhead. Okay, overhead. So, you can do on your own. I already give you formula, then you try on your own. Then later you can check your answer. Okay, you can check your answer. Jawapan ni pun dah bagi. Dalam exam, biasanya dia akan keluar lah. Dia akan keluar traditional variance, 1 atau 2 soalan. Baki adalah soalan advanced variance dan planning operating variance. Okay, then illustration 3. Okay, illustration 3, mix and yield. Okay, before we proceed with illustration 3, break 5 minutes. Break 5 minutes, then you boleh tengok formula. Illustration 1, illustration 2. Formula illustration 1 tu nanti nak bawa kepada planning operating variance. Okay. So tengok balik, cuba buatlah, kalau boleh cuba buat dan compare jawapan. 5 minutes break. Lepas tu kita jumpa lagi.